back here today. It is Way Back Wednesday on the KSMS. See Wiz with the 10-minute turn up coming to a close up in here. And right about now, it is time for that 10-minute turn up. No, I'm saying.
No,
it's time for
Ask the Expert.
It's time to Ask the Expert. Yeah. Get your questions answered today by a knowledgeable expert by calling 615-737-9292.
Hello?
Brought to you by Bancorp South. Visit us online at bancorpsouth.com. Equal housing lender.
All right, guys, time for a segment that we love doing on the show because, we have a whole lot of fun and we play games and win prizes, but we always got to get it a little bit serious on the show during the week. And so right now we got someone that we like to call our security expert. Tell them who we got on the line in the Zoom room, Sissy.
We have JC Shagag in the Zoom room. Take your he has mute on. Turn your mute off, JC. Take your mute off, JC. Mute.
Take your mic off safety.
Yeah, there we go.
Take your mic off safety.
Take the mute off.
Safety, that's the best way you can understand it.
That's why I said it in the language that he can understand.
He's staring at us, but he's not. Hey, JC, mute. Take your mute off. There you go. Take the mute off. We're looking. There we go.
You hear me now?
There, now.
Tomorrow we're going to work on color. All right, dude. Don't get beat up.
Right. I know, man. Don't get nothing dealt with, bro. All we going to do is stand by and watch. That's messed up what JC did to jail, man. That's real messed up.
Damn shame they did.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us. This is a very these times are kind of crazy. The last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of incidents, and there have been a lot of questions about things that have been going on, but we're going to get into that. But first, let's get into you. Give us a little rundown about yourself.
Okay. I'm a 15-year veteran, U.S. Army. I'm also a weapons and tactics instructor for the military. I'm a 23-year veteran of law enforcement, master instructor for law enforcement, weapons and tactics, local and international. So
basically, he will beat your butt.
Yep.
Yeah.
With his hands or with the weapon.
With a smile.
Yeah.
So we got some questions that we want to get to, sir. Matter of fact, we're going to start with one, and then we're going to take a quick break, come back, and then we're going to open the phone lines for your questions for our security expert, JC Shagag. Hit us up.
Good morning. Do you offer any type of weapons training classes for women or beginners? And what can we expect from those classes? As I've only held a gun maybe a couple of times and don't feel really secure in shooting it and holding it. If I were being confronted with someone, I can shoot it, but I would feel more comfortable if having more classes.
So we're going to pause on that, let you think about it, and come back, Kenny.
All right. Stick around, guys. We're going to get into that and a few of your questions as well. And also hit us up on Facebook on the kittyonline.net Facebook page. We live.
We are
on the
live.
Kitty Cool Morning Show. Wake it up.
Waking up with Kitty Smooth. Kitty Smooth in the morning.
Kenny, you're live on Kenny Online, right?
Yeah, I'm on normal pages. 92 Q's page is live too. Everything should be live. Probably should.
You got on just in time, JC.
Man. It was like touchdown, Brady.
All right. Gonna play question one, answer it, and then two. Answer it.
No. Question one, and then I'm going to ask.
He just changed it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he just changed it.
Oh, okay.
So 1 and 2.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
It's time to Ask the Expert. Yeah. Get your questions answered today by a knowledgeable expert by calling 615-737-9292.
Hello?
Brought to you by Bancorp South. Visit us online at bancorpsouth.com. Equal housing lender.
Good morning. Do you offer any type of weapons training classes for women or beginners? And what can we expect from those classes? As I've only held a gun maybe a couple of times and don't feel really secure in shooting it and holding it. If I were being confronted with someone, I can shoot it, but I would feel more comfortable if having more classes.
JC?
Yes, I offer basic shooting courses for women, for men, for children. Your expectations for my classes will be that you will get a firm grasp of the basics, basic handling, basic safety, basic marksmanship, as well as the fundamentals to build upon for actual gun fighting. So if you are trying to learn how to defend yourself, that means that you're wanting to learn how to fight with your gun. And I can definitely teach you how to do that with from the experience that I have from gunfighting myself.
All right.
Period.
That's a term, gunfighting. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
Sounds abrasive. JC Chicago on the line with us this morning. So we got another question, Dub?
Yep.
Good morning. Do you believe the police officers that have been shooting to kill lately, should they shoot at the legs? I've had conversations with multiple people about this, and some say police officers shoot to kill, but are they trained to shoot at the legs? Let me know.
JC?
Police officers are not trained to shoot at the legs. They're trained to shoot center mass. The officers that have been involved in the shooting, I can't really tell you what gave them the indication or indicators, but the training standard is if you have to use deadly force with your weapon, that you are to shoot center mass.
Why is that? Like, why is it? A lot of people talk about de-escalating the situation. Are cops not trained to de-escalate the situation? Because it seems like center mass would be to kill.
Center mass is used to stop the threat. De-escalation is used prior to the use of force. In order for de-escalation to work, then both parties have to listen and follow instructions. If they're not listening and following instructions, then the next level of force needs to be used to gain control. And there's like 6 to 7 levels of force.
Oh, goodness.
All
6
right.
to 7 levels of force. So you start at the bottom and work your way up, or are you just determined by what's in front of you?
You are mainly determined by what's in front of you, but you typically start with officer presence is the first level of force. Then the verbal, the interactions is levels of force. And then if the verbal don't work, you have the intermediate weapon, and that depends on what's going on. So you're looking at, baton, hands-on, taser. All right. From there, you have the soft hand, meaning you're trying to control them, physically control them to get them subdued. If that didn't work, you use hard hands. Hard hands is stun techniques, punches and kicks used to stun them in order to get them under control. Then you have what is called the incapacitation, meaning that it has gotten so out of hand that you have to take total control. So this is where like your tasers, certain hand-to-hand moves that you can use to disable them temporarily. And then if that person has matching confrontational skills and you're still not able to gain control at this time, it is assumed that deadly force is being used, and we have to cover what deadly force means. And then when deadly force is present.
So we're going to cover that
some
in
deadly
just a
force
moment.
information in just a moment. Come on, guys. JC Chicago on the show today. We're talking security. We're talking safety today, right here on the Kenny Smith Morning Show.
So deadly force, that's the question.
What's it? 5 minutes or what? It'll stop. You said somebody.
I love
Yeah,
this.
this is weird. No,
This
this is some Jason, Derrick Jackson shit.
Say what now?
I love that. I agree with it.
Right.
Not
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
instance.
I agree. Well,
Cooking
see,
it
there's-
behind them
Yeah,
friends
6
and
minutes.
stuff and all that and wiping.
Okay.
Man,
I love it. I agree with it.
sis,
Wrapping
you
up.
may agree with it, but ain't no nigga
The
doing
way
this
that
in
it
real life.
is, the way that
This
it
is-
is portrayed.
That's
Okay.
that is bullshit.
But
you know,
I agree with it. He said, if you don't get this off,
man,
your
you get this
page-
bullshit off. Ain't no nigga doing. A pastor ain't doing all that.
Absolutely not. That's why I say nobody getting all that.
That nigga trying to show up for the internet. I be wanting to fight dudes like that.
All right,
I
we're
can't
going
go
to the
to
next
All right, next break. Coming out
time
of
schedule.
yeah, coming out of LMA. All right, here we go.
It's time to ask the expert. Yeah. Get your questions answered today by a knowledgeable expert by calling 615-737-9292.
Hello?
Brought to you by Bancorp South. Visit us online at bancorpsouth.com. Equal housing lender.
When is it safe to use rubber bullets instead of real bullets? And the reason why I'm asking is being in the mental health field, a lot of mental health patients come in contact with the cops, and sometimes it doesn't end well. So when is it best to use rubber bullets instead of real bullets going towards maybe a mental health patient or even a Black person in particular? So that way we won't get shot with a real bullet.
JC.
Rubber bullets are typically used by either crowd control or special operations. In special operations such as SWAT, you have a negotiator that's out there. You have maybe somebody of a mental health professional that's out there so they can ascertain who they're dealing with. When patrol pull up, they don't necessarily know who they're dealing with, and rubber bullets is not an option.
There you go. Now, I have a question for you about Ma'Khia Bryant's situation. I know you're very familiar with it. What is your professional opinion on what happened that day? As far as the police and doing what he did, or was it necessary? What do you think about that?
Okay, I'll cover it from two angles. One is the professional standard, and I guess what JC would have done.
Okay.
But one is from the professional standard, he did what the training allows or what the training showed him to do. And a situation where when he pull up and all hell start to break loose, and the young man pushed the lady, and then the lady from the pink start walking from around the car, it appears like she's walking toward the officer, and then the young lady appears to attack her. Well, he yelled, told her to stop. But in those situations, when you have that heightened adrenaline, you have what they call the auditory, the exclusion, where you can't really hear anybody, you got tunnel vision, where you only see who you're trying to deal with. She probably didn't even hear him. And he did just what the training dictates, is that in order to save that young lady's life in the pink, he had to stop the young lady that was trying to stab her. So that was a standard move in police training.
No, JC.
Go ahead, sir.
JC would have done what in that situation?
I would have attempted to disarm her using my baton, striking her from behind. I would have probably caught a lot of hell for that, but she'd be alive.
Stabbed her.
Right.
Because she still could have stabbed the young lady in the pink, right?
Right. She would have made contact with that young lady in the way that I'm saying. She probably wouldn't have been able to hit her twice, but she'd have nicked her, at least hit her once. But under the circumstance.
Yeah.
Say again, sir.
But both of them would be alive today.
As long as she didn't stab her in the vital area.
Yeah, lung or something, puncture her lung.
All right, we've been talking with our security expert, JC Shagag, talking personal security. We're talking safety, gun safety, the whole nine today. 615-737-9292 is the phone number for you to call in. And if you're on right now, you want to get online with us at 92Q Nashville on Facebook. Get on our Facebook page. You can ask your question there. As a matter of fact, we're going to be going to the phone lines and our Facebook next. You're listening to the Kenny Smooth Morning Show. Wake it up.
Waking up with Kenny Smooth. Kenny Smooth in the morning.
JC, you look so serious. Did you just wake up?
I'm looking at y'all.
Oh.
I'm looking at professionals at work. It's always a serious thing for me. I'm looking it up.
Where's that happening at?
I got to go to my questions.
Yeah, I'm glad we covered de-escalation, and definitely we need to cover deadly force because they need to.
Next question for you is to describe deadly force.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the next one, and then I have another as soon as I find it. Man, I post a lot. I'm like scrolling like this was just on like 2 days ago and I'm still scrolling. Oh, here we go.
Ready?
Ready?
Sissy, you ready?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready. Whenever you are.
Before you post it up.
All of it's on, a whole thing's on skimming.
Okay. All right, ready? Here we go.
It's time to ask the expert. Yeah. Get your questions answered today by a knowledgeable expert by calling 615-737-9292.
Hello?
Brought to you by Bancorp South. Visit us online at bancorpsouth.com. Equal housing lender.
Deadly force?
Pointing dead at you, Kenny. Hold on.
Oh, hold on.
Gotta do that though.
I was like, you.
Bring it back.
Are you looking at, can you see me? Can you see me?
Yeah. I can see you now.
Okay.
I was looking, I think I was added
You
on
come
the wrong
in.
thing. Added on Facebook.
You come in and then ask him about deadly force.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I'm sorry, JC, I wasn't pointing at you. I know you was like, me, go now.
All right, here we go.
It's time to ask the expert. Yeah. Get your questions answered today by a knowledgeable expert by calling 615-737-9292.
Hello?
Brought to you by Bancorp South. Visit us online at bancorpsouth.com. Equal housing lender.
Listening to Ask the Expert, brought to you by our friends at Bancorp South. And on the Zoom room today, we have JC Sagog. We've been talking about a bunch of different things, talking gun safety. We're talking about de-escalation with the police and using rubber bullets and a bunch of different things that have been on people's minds. We're going to go to our social media platform and get some questions from there. And we've been talking about use of force and use of deadly force. I think there were some questions that we had, right, sis?
Like what, actually the definition of using deadly force versus from the from the bottom where he started and moved up to the 7 steps he said, and now he's up to the deadly force. So can you explain that, JC?
Okay, deadly force has a dual meaning. One of the meanings is serious bodily injury. All right. So the threat has to be able to render to you or the victim serious bodily injury. Serious bodily injury consists of like cuts, broken bones, being knocked out, unconscious. That's a part of deadly force. So that person would have to have the ability to do that to you. Deadly force also consists of wounds or actions likely to cause death. So something as obvious as the presence of a gun, the presence of a knife, someone trying to hit you with a car, a baseball bat, something like that.
Okay.
Ooh.
Deadly force.
Now from Facebook, I have a comment from Chemistry Ridley. She said, people without color makes it to trial. People with color get a death sentence. Make it make sense, Chrissy. Do you agree with that?
It's a culture. It's a culture. It's a culture that's been existing since the antebellum South, slavery, prisoners of war. It's the culture, and cultures tend to live on. You see how, like, even now, when the Confederate has lost, you got people who still promote the Confederacy and the principles of Confederacy. It lives, and that mentality, it's a culture. So, you know, we need to find ways to put people in place that's going to get rid of that culture, because it speaks for us. We see it all around us.
Yeah, I said that a lot, man. It's not people, it's the culture. The culture breeds the things that happen in the behavior, and then the culture's protected, and people do that kind of thing, and then it's exacerbating. It just keeps going and going.
Exactly.
Hopefully, and as we move forward, you know, we got to make sure we elect people that hire people to change the culture. That's what you have to do. You have to elect people to hire people to change the culture, and then you'll see a change. So glad that you guys asked that question this morning. Great question. Been here this morning with JC Shigog. You got to give them your contacts and your socials and everything. So I know people definitely still want to get some gun safety training. And
because even though you don't have to have a permit.
Yeah, even though now you don't have to have a permit in July 1, right?
Do you agree with that?
Right. If you believe in the Second Amendment, then the permitless carry makes sense. What doesn't make sense is that you get hold of a gun and don't get trained with it.
Right.
It's like driving a car without getting trained with it. You turn that regular everyday vehicle into a deadly weapon. And then now that you're actually having a deadly weapon, you need to get trained with it, because the legislatures have said that any of the violations of gun laws now has been increased in penalty and in punishment drastically. So what was a citable offense is now an arrestable offense. What's arrestable offense is now a felony.
So there's the kicker right there.
We ramped it all up.
Give us the information so we can get to you so that we can get that training.
Yes, you can reach me at my email is jc@jcshegog.com. That's jc@jcshegog.com. My website is www.jcshegog.com. My phone number is 615-669-1558. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter under JC Shegog.
All right, guys, get at them, get that training, get that knowledge. Thank you, JC, man, for always just stepping in and being our
Thank you all.
expert, man. Always knowledgeable. You're listening to the Kenny'sville Morning Show at 92Q. You better wait.
Waking up with Kenny Smooth. Kenny Smooth in the morning.
And that's that. You're the best, JC.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Trying to educate the masses.
Right.
Yeah, man. And, we have some more things coming up, man. We have to bring you back in here, man. We definitely will reach out.
Definitely. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate you.
You still have time. You can go on the website or the radio. It's still on.
Yep. Catch your back.
We just pre-recorded the last part. We did live the first part, pre-recorded the second part. So you can listen to it.
Okay. And you say it's on.
It's on right now.
It's on right now. iHeart.
Appears to attack her.
Yeah, it's on right now. We're listening to you right now.
Okay.
On iHeart. You can go to iHeart. You can go to 92qnashville.com and hit listen live at the top.
Yep.
All right.
I'm
there.
All right, honey.
Thank you.
Talk to y'all later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Facebook fam. We appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Being on today.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Love
and
ya.
we'll do it again soon. Deuces.